Alright, so if you don't already have your workbook printed out or open in a separate tab, go ahead and do that now. However, if you prefer to just be present in the moment and listen to the lessons and then refer to your workbook later, you're welcome to do that as well. But let's dive into what crystals are. So a lot of people ask me how a crystal is different from a rock and why there are healing properties in crystals and not in rocks. And so the main reason for this is because crystals hold the sacred geometry of the universe and of the earth within them. So when you look at a crystal underneath a microscope at its most basic anatomical level, you can see squares, triangles, circles, perfect shapes, and they are identical in every single of that crystal. For example, under a microscope, all clear quartz look the same. Under a microscope, all black onyx look the same. Under a microscope, all citrine look the same, and so on and so forth. This is because crystals are formed by the Earth's pressure, but generally, you'll find all the same crystals in one area. It's the matter of the earth that produces that specific crystal. And in those crystals are their sacred geometry, which is what holds the healing properties of each crystal itself. A rock, on the other hand, can be formed by Earth's pressure, but it doesn't matter what the matter is in the earth. So all the pressure is just pushing anything in the earth together, and there is no sacred geometry in rocks. There is a little bit, but it's not identical. So if you look at a rock under a microscope, it's not going to have the perfect lines and the identical nature that a crystal does. And because it doesn't hold that is why rocks don't have the healing properties that crystals do. Now, crystals have been used for thousands and thousands of years, all through ancient civilizations. I'm sure you've seen Native Americans using crystals, a lot of other native peoples around the world. And this is because when you believe in crystals, they work for you. And that is something that people always ask me, do crystals work? And I say, they work for me. Whether it's a placebo effect or not, personally, I do not think that it is in the slightest bit. However, we don't know science-based. I do know that sacred geometry has been studied for thousands of years. Because the sacred geometry is inside of the crystals, I believe for a fact that crystals do actually work. But that is for you to find out, so I encourage you to test out what crystals work best for you, which crystals you're drawn towards, and in the next section, we are going to go over a crystal starter kit so that you can start to bring crystal healing into your everyday life.